Hello, hello, everybody. How are you all doing? I just want to make sure that we are, in fact, live. I think we are. Hi, everybody. I have a wonderful guest today who I want to introduce to you. But before I do that, I just want to make sure this is working. So if you're here and if you can hear us, just send me a comment below or just like, just so I make sure that this is working. But yeah, I can see it, so that's fine. So, hello, Mia. I have a special guest with me today, Mia Bolden, and she's what you're. Where are you right now?
I'm in
What's
Pensacola, Florida.
okay? So all the way from Florida. I love technology, and I'm really happy to have you here with us. And you're gonna talk to us about how to push past your fears and get confident in your business, which is amazing. So most people in this group are, in business. They're entrepreneurs.
Yes.
And
Mm-hmm.
I think we can all agree that at different points in our lives, and it might fluctuate, but yes, we do have fear. And sometimes
Mm-hmm.
we can let fear stop us, and that is not really helpful. Sometimes we don't know what to do. What do we do? We have the fear. What do we do? How do we still do things and not let that sort of paralyze us? And of course, confidence is always a theme. Some people have
Mm-hmm.
totally gotten over it, which is great, and some people are still on that journey. So I think this is going to be a really nice half hour, and I'm looking forward to it. And enough. Now it's your turn, Mia. Why don't you start? Just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got to be doing what you're doing.
Absolutely. Well, Rania, can you hear me okay?
Yes, very well.
Okay, well, I am so happy to be here and shukran for having me on today. I
Yes,
learned that on my trip to Egypt.
yes, you were just here recently.
Yes, I host women empowerment retreats, and I just took a group out there to Egypt. It was very beautiful out there, and we
On
will
that
be
journey.
back.
Wait, sorry,
So
sorry,
yeah.
sorry. Okay, sorry about that. I went. I heard us on on Facebook, so sorry for the interruption. So just say that again. So you take, yeah, you do retreats for women.
Uh-huh. So I do host women's retreats, and we actually just got back from Egypt. I host women empowerment retreats, and we did one in Egypt, and it was beautiful out there. Explored. I could have stayed out there easily another 2 months or another month or so. I really loved it out there, but we will be back. So
Great. Yes, and next time you
yes,
come, hopefully I'll see you.
yes, we definitely have to meet each other next time. But yeah, so just a little bit about me. So I'm an empowerment business coach, and I have been doing that now. I've been an empowerment business coach, I would say about the past year. I before that I've been coaching though for the past 3.5 years. When I started off, I graduated through ICF, which is the International Coaching Federation. And when I started off as a body image and confidence coach because that is what I had just overcome. And I tell people all the time, what makes a great coach is somebody who has overcome troubles or have overcome things, or somebody that can teach something very easily. And so I just overcame body image and confidence issues. And so that's what I started coaching on. And I love doing that. I'm also a motivational speaker. So I started doing a lot of traveling and started speaking at women's conferences and a lot of events and retreats and things like that. And I started having a lot of ladies over the few years kind of asking me, well, how did you start coaching? How did you start your retreats? How did you start doing your speaking, and things like that? And so I kind of shifted, especially when COVID hit, I really shifted over because I wasn't able to do a lot of traveling and doing my speaking at my conferences and things like that. So I shifted over to empowerment business coaching because ladies were asking me, everybody was looking for a business online. Everybody was really trying to start their coaching business. So that's how I shifted over to the coaching business side. But what I seem to find out is a lot of the clients that came to me, or a lot of the ladies that I talked to me, they really knew their business. They kind of knew what they wanted to coach on. They kind of knew their funnels. But a pattern that I really saw is that the ladies just weren't confident enough, when it got time to get in front of the camera or to price your program or to tell people about your business. And I really saw that that was a part that was missing, is ladies really needed to get confident in themselves, I always say, and in their sales and in their business so they can get out there and promote it. And so that's kind of a little bit of the journey and how I kind of started into my empowerment business coaching.
Wonderful. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah,
And
you're
yes,
welcome.
I totally agree with you, because it's really about believing in yourself, and then believing that you have something really powerful and unique to share, that actually comes from your unique set of mistakes and challenges,
Hmm.
everything, and sort of how you grew out of those. And then you have something to teach and something to offer. And I think one of the things that holds people back, and for a long time
Uh-huh.
it was like that with me as well, is not sort of daring to put yourself out there, and even thinking, well, does anybody really want to hear this, and why would they want to listen to me? And also, and you mentioned that now, is actually putting a price tag on that value
Hmm.
that you that you have to offer, and recognizing that there is a value to that, because it's valuable to somebody out there, and that it's not just okay, it's necessary to put a price tag on it, otherwise you're not really going to be helping people. That took me a while to reach that point, but I guess that's what you do. You work with people on those sorts of challenges so that they can sort of put themselves out there, right?
Yes, absolutely. So I run a program, it's called Confidence Clients and Cash Flow. And that is where I start off with, just like I said, is really that confidence, because even with the pricing thing, people don't realize this. So we hear it all the time. You need, especially with coaches, and in the coaching, even in retreats and speaking as far as entrepreneurs and pricing their value or pricing whatever it is, their services, what they're doing, is they hear like you need your high ticket program, you need your 5,000, 2,000, whatever type, item program. And I'm all for that. And I would absolutely agree to that. But if you're not confident in saying my program is $5,000 and this is what it is, you won't tell people, you'll subconsciously self-sabotage yourself without even knowing it. So a lot of people are like, I'm not being consistent, I'm not showing up, I'm not doing my videos. And that all stems back to that confidence, because if you're confident that you can make those transformations, if you're confident that yes, I can charge $5,000 and I'm going to give the results that I say that I'm going to give, if you're really confident in that, you'll have no problem with hopping on camera and telling people, yes, this is what I do, this is how I can help you, this is what I charge, and that's just what it is. And so a lot of the ladies, like I said, when I start working with them, they're like, I don't know if I can charge $5,000. I don't know if I could, even if it's $1,000, whatever is taking them outside of their comfort zone. You have to feel good about that so you can actually lead with that. And then the rest of it just definitely becomes easy and it kind of falls into place.
Yes, 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 yes. I hear you.
Hmm.
I've had the same
Yes.
experience. I was like that. I was very resistant until my
Hmm.
coach and mentor, through over time, I broke free of all of those beliefs, and yeah, lack of confidence, I guess, or lack of even confidence in my own ability. Well, can I pull that off? If
Hmm.
I But then I did, and I once I started believing, yes, I know I can offer that value. Then it was fine actually to put a number on it, and you're right. It has to sit well with you. It has to be energetically aligned with you. Otherwise, it's not going to work, and it's going to show. If you get on a sales call and
Hmm.
you're not even sure that you should be charging that much, it's going to show. And so yeah, it has to feel right.
Absolutely. And I love that you're saying the word feel, because that's what I tell people. It has to feel good to you. I always say, listen to your intuition, listen to your gut. And I always say this, is that money is an energy exchange.
Yes.
Sales is an energy exchange. If you don't feel good about what it is that you're saying, people feel that, and they feel like that's either like, well, can she really help me, because she really is not confidently saying her price, or they feel like there's a bit of a distrust or something is just not right there. So I'm happy that you said that feeling, because that's what I tell people, always go back to that feeling, because money is that energy exchange. So if you can't say, that $2,000, if that doesn't feel good to you, don't do that. My advice on that is to start off with $1,000. If you can say $1,000, $1,000, then every 4 clients you work with, once the confidence start building, you feel good about yourself. You're seeing the results that you're giving. So every 4 clients, then go ahead and raise your prices, $300, $400, and do it every, just like I said, every few clients. When your confidence is boosting, you're feeling a lot better about the results you're getting until you get to that good high ticket program, that price tag that you want to get to. So that's always kind of my advice there with when they're starting to price their program confidently.
Yeah, definitely. And
Hmm.
basically what you're saying is start with what does feel right. And then
Yes. Hmm.
you can change that, later on. And
Yes.
what you're also saying is that we don't need to wait until we're confident to do things. We can do things not confident, and then that's how we build the confidence, right? So, yeah,
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's what I tell people. Confidence is like a muscle. I always say that, which is a good thing for us. The more you work at it, the stronger it gets. I always go back to athletes. When the first time Michael Jordan got on the basketball court, he wasn't like the best at it. The more he did it, the better he got. I say the first time Oprah did her first interview when she was on TV, when Oprah was a newscaster, when she very first started, she had many obstacles. She even talks about it in many of her speeches of how nervous she was, how unconfident she was, how much doubt she had in her head. But now look at Oprah now. Like like if she didn't start doing it. So the more you do the thing, whatever you're unconfident at, the more you do it, whether it's public speaking, getting on camera, actually doing your coaching services and working at that, that's where the confidence grows, because people will start telling you, like, "Ooh, you really helped me out," or "Thank you so much for that." And then inside you're like, "Okay, I can do this." And then the confidence grows there. And it definitely becomes a lot easier. And that fear goes away, which my thing is I always say, and that's another thing with confidence, because we have that self-doubt, we have that fear. What if it doesn't go right? What if nobody buys my program? What if I'm not good enough? What if I'm not good as, Tony Robbins or the next coach or whatever the case may be? And I always say that my acronym for fear is false evidence appearing real. So that's what I say is we're sitting there and we're working in our head all this what if, what if, what if, and really that's just false evidence. It's not even anything that's happening, but that's just what we see in our head. And so that's where a lot of people shut down. And that's where that lack of confidence comes from, is that doubt, is that fear. And so if I was to give a tip on that, is I tell people anything that you have in your head that's holding you back from stepping into your greatness and promoting your business and starting, your entrepreneurial journey, is if you have the fear of what if nobody buys my program? I always say to actually write that down. Like, what if nobody buys my program? And then answer that question. Well, then I'll have to redo my program. Then I'll have to go back to the drawing board and, actually work yourself through it instead of letting it sit in your head. And that's where it manifests and that's where it grows. So that's where I would give anyone a tip on that, is to really work through all of that doubt, put it on paper and answer those questions. And you can honestly work yourself to say, oh, that's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
yes, yes, yes. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yes, and anybody, guys,
Absolutely. You're welcome.
yes, you guys who are listening in, if you have any questions or any comments, please put them in the comments so I can tell Mia. But yeah, I mean, you mentioned like somebody like Tony Robbins, or they also started not confident. They also started with fear. So I think
Hmm.
we just need to understand that that's okay, and we do it anyway.
Yes.
When I was kind of there and in a little cocoon and not really wanting to come out, my teacher at the time, my trainer, when
Hmm.
I was getting trained as an NLP and hypnosis practitioner, and then later a master practitioner, and he always
Uh-huh.
about the Nike logo, just do it. That's
Yeah.
that, and I always remember that. I just do it. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I do it scared. I do it not
Hmm.
sure. But I know
Yes.
that I have something valuable to offer. So obviously, yes, obviously, learn and have knowledge and make sure that you have your thoughts organized and you have your learnings clear, so you have something of value to share. But then once
Hmm.
you've got that, then you do it scared, you do it not confident, you just do it. And I think
Yep.
that works.
Absolutely. You just do it. And I love the book. I always talk about the quote in the book, feel the fear and do it anyways. You just get out there and you just do it anyways and you learn. And I always say this is that there's no difference between anybody, me, you, or the next person that's watching somebody that is super successful. The only difference is they fail a lot faster or they have failed more than we have. I always say that. So a lot of people, they will look at me and they'll say, Mia, you're doing these retreats, you're traveling, you're speaking, you're doing that. I could never do that. And I'm like, yes, you could. The only difference is I just failed a lot more than you have, and I just keep going. That's the only thing. So you just have to fail your way forward. And that's actually the confidence grows there too, because when you do that, it's a learning experience. You see where you can make you can correct the next time and you can make it better. And then you truly realize, like, well, I did it and I made a mistake and I'm still here and it's okay. And I still was able to help my clients out, and things like that. And that's where the confidence grows. But a lot of people, they just get stuck and they just, they don't even do that first starting point. And I always use the analogy of a spaceship or an airplane. They use the most fuel when they're starting, the most power and the most fuel when they start. And once you do that, you can kind of coast and that confidence will grow. But the hardest part for some people is just starting. But I tell them, once you do that, it just really does all fall into place.
Yeah, I like the way you just framed that, because what
Uh-huh.
often prevents people from starting is they're afraid to fail. But what you just said is that the people who are most successful are the ones who failed more, and therefore they learned.
Yes.
And so
Mm-hmm.
failure is cannot be a problem. It's the lack of failure perhaps that would be the problem. So I think that's a really good way of looking at it. Um,
Absolutely.
one of the statements that I also repeat to myself that was kind of a learning thing for me, which is there is no failure, only feedback, and that really helped.
Right, right,
Because what does it even mean to fail? What does that even mean? Does that just mean that things didn't turn out the way we planned? That's fine.
right.
Who says it's called failure? It's feedback. It's something to learn there. Okay, now I know what
Mm-hmm.
didn't work. Now I know what I might want to do differently. If I
Yes.
learn, if I take that feedback, then it's not even failure in the first place. It's just part of the learning on the way to wherever we want to go. So
Right.
I know that you have.
I'm actually going to write that down because that's a good one. Thank you for sharing that. There's no failure, there's only feedback. I learned that's a good one. I like that. I'm going to have to
Yeah,
use that.
I use it internally all the time, because I have like, I'm always active. Since I'm a kind of overthinking kind of person. I use that as a strength.
Right,
I just overthink in the right direction. I overthink in the positive direction. And I actually don't
right.
when my mind has really quieted down, and through with meditation and things like that, I don't have all these crazy thoughts going through my head. But when I am thinking,
Yeah.
it's about just reminding myself of these things,
Hmm.
so that I'm mostly feeling good, mostly at peace, mostly feeling motivated. And it's a work in progress. But the more you do it, the more you
Yes.
practice, the more it becomes a habit and a lifestyle. And so yeah, it works to just remind ourselves of these things. So I know that you had like
Absolutely.
three main tips that you wanted to share today
Hmm.
with our audience. So if you can go through those.
Absolutely. So the first thing is, of course, what we were just talking about is kind of like that getting started. So a lot of entrepreneurs at whatever it is, if it's getting started at doing your live videos, if it's getting started with coaching, if it's getting started with whatever, my thing is to just go ahead and get started and try to get out there and get started and try to work with people. I work with a lot of, just like I said, coaches. So that's my clientele. And I believe that's a lot of your clientele, either your coaches or the service-based industry. And I tell people the very first thing is you want to get started and to work with as many people as fast as you possibly can, even if it is on a scholarship basis. I tell people in my program, I actually do advise people if they're not getting any clients or if they're just starting to, for 30 days, have a 30-day plan to work with 10 people that you're going to work with one-on-one for 4 weeks. That's two people that you meet every day. And what that does is that gets you, of course, a lot, definitely gets you that lovely clarity on your program and what problems you solve and all of that. But for what I teach, which is that confidence, is that helps boost your confidence within yourself, because you're actually out here, you're getting the act of working with these people, you're seeing what it is, you're helping them, they're telling you, thank you so much for helping me out, they're giving you feedback, you're feeling good about yourself because you're actively doing what it is that you love. And then, of course, it's good to get your reviews and your testimonials and all those things, but it makes you feel good. And then that almost validates that, yes, I can do this. And then you'll be ready to put that price tag on there. You'll be ready to start promoting yourself and definitely getting out there. So that would be my first step, is to just get started, work with people either on either pro bono, or I call it a scholarship basis, for 30 days, to help you get the clarity, to help you get the confidence that you need, and help you get that feedback so you can feel good about what it is that you do, and you can start going out there and promoting and starting your business. So that would be my first tip. My second tip on that would be, of course, to stop comparing yourself to other people. That is one of the biggest things. Of course, that big imposter syndrome is people sit there and compare themselves to other people that are in their field. And I always say to stop doing that. Definitely watch who, it's good to have mentors. It's good to have people that you look up to. I am all for that. But watch comparing yourself to what it is they're doing, they're following, how much money they make, things like that. Sometimes a lot of people, they compare themselves to people that have been in the game and have done their business for about 2 to 3 years, and they're just beginners. So if you are, huh?
Sorry, sorry. It was an interruption from the sound. Sorry, keep going.
Oh, okay. No, no, okay. But that would be my thing, is to definitely, to just, the comparison thing, you want to stop doing that. Don't do that. And
Yeah.
then my third thing, if I was to say, is to definitely still teach, coach, and be who it is that you are in your business. So, because I always say your vibe will attract your tribe, it kind of goes back to that comparison thing. So, a lot of people, they'll go and they'll try to be the Tony Robbins or the Oprah or the Mel Robbins or whoever they'll watch. And that's not their vibe, that's not their clientele. You definitely want to stay in your lane, teach how you teach, and your vibe will attract your tribe. And that makes it a lot easier on you to do what it is that you love to do, which is coach and teach and lead.
I love all of those. Thank you so much. Yeah,
Ah,
I love
thank
it.
you.
These are very important tips. The first one is super important. Also, that it gets you
Hmm.
more clear on, actually helps you tweak your content as well. Because when you really
Right.
know the audience and you really
Uh-huh.
start to hear their specific needs or desires or problems or challenges, it might actually help you tweak and create even better content, so that the next batch of clients is getting more out of you. So I think it's really valuable for both the getting clarity on yourself and your confidence and all that, but also being able to offer even better value because you've talked to the people, and they're the ones. I mean, in the end, it's about what they need, right? That's what you're there for.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, that's really important. The second one, just I want, because I like recapping. The second one was to stop comparing. Yes, I of course love that, because actually social comparison is also one of the obstacles to happiness. I mean, it's really something that doesn't serve us at all. And what I like to say is that it makes no sense at all to compare ourselves to anybody, because there is only one of us, and there is no one on the
I
planet
totally
like us.
agree.
So there is no comparison. I mean, there really isn't. So it's a futile exercise, and also, and it's really important to remember this, because of this age we're in with social media. When you even think you're comparing yourself to somebody, you actually aren't. You're only comparing yourself to what you see of that person, what they're putting forward, either face to face or online.
Absolutely.
And you don't really know what's going on inside them. You don't really know all aspects of their lives. You don't really know very much. So when I put myself out there on social media, I'm not going to share every single little detail of my life. You're not going to see all the pains, all the struggles, or nothing. You're going to see what I'm putting there. I am authentic, and I will say that no, I don't always feel good. And even in the first place, happiness isn't about feeling good all the time. I'll admit all those things, but it
Right.
doesn't mean that I share all the details. Often I'm sharing things that are of value. That's not a full picture. So comparing yourself to anybody isn't going to be helpful. Comparing yourself to yourself is what's helpful. So you can
Absolutely. I totally agree with that.
compare yourself to yourself a year ago or 5 years ago or 5 months ago, and then just
Mhm.
any little progress, you celebrate that.
Yeah,
That's
because I always say that's truly the only person you need to be in competition with is just yourself, is who you were, and then just improving on that versus comparing yourself to everybody else. So I would agree to that.
yeah. And the third one you said was, what was the third one? Okay, wait. You just start. Just start, even if it's pro bono or you call it a scholarship, and don't compare yourself
Uh-huh.
to people. And then the third
The
one,
third thing is just to lead in authenticity, if I
yes,
will, and just be yourself, because I always say your vibe will attract your tribe.
yes,
So teach how you teach, coach how you coach. Don't go back to comparing and try to be like how they are. Just use your own words, do your own thing, and you'll attract your ideal clients. You'll truly attract the people that you really want to work with, you know?
yeah, because it makes sense. Because first of all, why would you want to be having to pretend to be anybody else? I mean, you're gonna enjoy it more when you're just being yourself, whatever that means, even if it's a little bit weird sometimes, a little bit goofy sometimes. I mean, I'm like that, and I'm fast, and I use my hands, and that's just who I
Me
am.
too.
Yeah, and
Me too.
some people are going to like that and other people aren't going to like it at all, and that's fine. And I think that's an important part of it, is just to be okay with not everybody's going to like your style. Not everybody's going to be attracted to your vibe, and that's perfectly fine, because the right people will. And I think this is what it needs: a little bit of letting go of people pleasing, letting go of everybody needs to like me kind of thing.
Yes, absolutely. Because and that makes it easier on a lot of us. Just like I said, because that's where I think a lot of people that confidence is held back because they feel like they have to act like somebody else or talk like somebody else or be like them. And I'm like you, like I'm loud, I laugh loud, I use my hands, I talk real fast sometimes. And some people, and I had to, and I can honestly say that there was a point where I was like, I want everybody to like me. I want everybody to be, and I had to kind of really realize that everybody is not my tribe and everybody's not going to like me. And I always say, if real talk, we don't like everybody. So if we just stay in our lane, and it makes it a lot easier for us to do what we need to focus on, which is coaching and leading with value and serving, we don't get so hung up on being perfect or the words we're using. And we just are really, truly being authentic. And it makes it so much easier on yourself too.
Yes, 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 yes. I love this conversation today, and I think it's really, really valuable for anybody listening in. We have a few people listening in. There aren't any questions. I think that's good. I think we've been clear about everything we're saying. I know
Very
that.
good.
Yes, I know it's going to be helpful in the replay as well, because a lot of people watch the replay. So what I want to make sure
Uh-huh.
people know what to do before we close is how to reach you. If you can also go, maybe after we close, if you can go to the video, to the live, and maybe put your social media link. How can people reach you? If you have do you have a Facebook group as well, or a page, or what do you have?
I do. I have a Facebook group, and my Facebook group is Sales Mastery for Female Entrepreneurs. And
Okay.
I'll leave that down below because that's one of the things that I really focus on. Like I said, is just getting confident in yourself and your sales and being visible, because I really feel like that's one of the things that holds people back. Like they know their stuff, they know what they want to coach on, they know the funnels. It's time to actually get the mastery behind that, get confident in it. So that's where you can find me on Facebook, and I'll leave that link down below as well. I can absolutely do that.
Yes, please. And also you can put the
Uh-huh.
Instagram link as well, just in case if somebody wants to follow you there. You're
Okay.
on House as well.
No, I'm not on Clubhouse. I'm an Android user, so that's
Yeah,
they don't have a Clubhouse for
not yet,
Androids yet.
but hopefully soon. I understand that they're working on that. But yeah, when you're there, let me know as well, because I've created a couple of clubs there, and it's quite fun. And I'd love to maybe do co-moderate a room with you or something at some point when they get ready.
Absolutely.
When they get it ready for Android.
I
Yeah.
would love
Okay.
that.
What was I gonna say? You said something. Yes, about perfection. What I like to say as well, these little sayings that I keep reminding myself. What I like to say is, practice makes progress instead of practice makes perfect. And that's what practice makes progress. And that's all we ever need is progress. And progress doesn't have to be even, you know what? Progress doesn't have to be progress in something I even did for my business. Progress on one day might be that I'm resting. And that resting is
Absolutely.
productivity as well. Resting is productive. Resting is progress because I'm a human
That's
being.
needed too.
Yeah. So, so it's just about being kind to ourselves as we go
Hmm.
on the journey of helping others, that we're also helping ourselves. And also, what I also wanted to take your opinion about that, the way I look at sales,
Uh-huh.
because I was that person that never wanted to sell anything. I
Right.
struggled a lot with the idea of even charging for helping people, and that was,
Hmm.
and of course I was very much in a cocoon because I was somebody who wanted everybody to like me, so I wasn't really
Right.
myself, so I had all those things. And now I'm
Yeah.
over all that, and I started to understand that instead of me thinking how can people get paid for helping people, what if the entire
Hmm.
planet was making money out of helping each other? That means you have everybody
Right.
helping everybody. That's a beautiful thing, actually. So I got
Absolutely.
that. And about the word sales, it is
Hmm.
sales, of course, but one way of perhaps looking at it, and that's what I want your opinion, is I don't look at it as sales anymore. I just look at it as going out there on social media or even face to face and just telling people what I have to offer. That's it. I'm just going
Hmm.
to be myself. I'm going to express the value that I have available to offer a certain person, and then the right people will naturally gravitate towards me. So when I don't look at it as sales per se from the business
Hmm.
sense, it's less intimidating or whatever. That's what I do. What do you think about that?
Right. I absolutely love that you just said that because that's one of the things that I tell my clients as well. And the only reason that I called my group Sales Mastery is because sales is the word that everybody knows. Like they know that business word. But even when I coach, I tell people it's not making a sale. Like you're not selling, you're making an offer. You see somebody that knows that that they have a problem. They're coming to you for the problem, and you're saying, "Hey, yeah, I can help you out with the problem. This is what I do. This is the investment to work with me." And that's basically it. And then I tell people really what that does is that gives you the opportunity to really just lead with value and to stop. I really tell people to stop selling. Don't
Yes.
sell. Just
Yeah.
give as much value as you can, and people will just naturally gravitate towards you and they'll say, I want to come and work with you, Rania. I've seen all of your stuff. I really like what it is that you're doing. How can I get more of that? How can I work? And it takes a lot of that pressure off of my introverts or my people that don't like sales or to ask for the sale, is to really just lead with value. And if somebody reaches out to you, because they will, when they reach out to you, if you're doing your call to action and things like that, you're just hearing what they have going on. And it's like, yes, I can help you, or no, I can't help you, and you just make the offer if it feels right, like, yeah. And then that's when you come up confidently and say, yeah, that's exactly what it is that I do. And then you just make the offer, and if they bite, they bite, and if they don't, they don't, and it's okay.
Exactly. So we have here Patty. Hi, Patty. Hi, Astrid. And hi, Patty. And Patty says, wonderful conversation. Thank you. And
Thank you.
and she says, love using the word investment instead of sale. Uh,
Hmm.
did you actually say investment? I must have not even caught that.
Yes, I do. I tell people that's what I tell, because when they say the cost of something, I always say the investment in my program is, because
Exactly.
that's what it is, especially if you're a coach, because that's what they're doing is they're not really paying you. I mean, they are paying you, but they're investing in themselves. And that's what we as coaches have to show them, that that's what they're doing is they're investing in improving themselves. And that's why they came to you in the first place. So that's what I tell my coaching clients to use, is that word invest. Hmm.
Yes, yes, and I do that like on my landing pages. When it comes to the
Right.
money, it says your personal.
Right.
That's what it's called. And it is, you are
Yeah.
investing in your personal and professional development. And it's a
Right.
very worthwhile investment when you find the right person who you sort of really click with. And of course, this is totally off, but if people are wondering, so how do I find the right person? It's about getting on a call with people, and just you're going to feel that energy, you're going to feel that vibe. And of course, you're going
Hmm.
to hear how specifically they're saying that they can help you, and making sure that they have the solutions to the specific problems that you are facing, and it's just gonna feel good. And when it's the right person, oh my goodness, it's
Right.
so worth it. I have never made more worthwhile investments than in my coaches or mentors ever in my life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely the same here, and that's what once you show other people that, and I tell people all the time, like, I still invest in myself. I still have a coach. I'm a business coach. I still have a business coach. I still have other mentors that I work with. I have a money mindset coach because those are investments in myself. And that's what, once you show that to other people, then it'll kind of like switch, that you're not being salesy and just trying to get them to buy another program. No, I'm trying to get you to invest in yourself because you're worth it. And just like you said, when you have that right client, you'll feel it. And that's what's so good about it, is you'll just have this conversation and it'll flow. And it kind of popped in my head, and I know we're kind of running at the end, but I do just want to say this. So you also have to be confident enough to also say that, no, I don't think we're a good fit to work with each other, and be okay with that too, because there's people, and that's what's good about a clarity call, is if it feels right, you'll make the offer. And if it feels wrong, then yeah, I don't think that we would be good to work with each other. And you just have to be confident enough to say that.
Yeah, absolutely. And then maybe if available to you, you could refer them to somebody else, or to a resource, or somebody to follow on social media who you think is, they're going to benefit from,
Absolutely.
that you've helped in some way. But yeah, and I think that's really important. And it's okay that we're over time. It's not set in stone.
And
But I think it's fine. But you touched on something important, which also, like, I was just giving a training yesterday on how to nail your niche, or niche. You guys, I think in the States you call it niche. Anyway,
niche or niche, either one.
yeah. But the part of niching down is knowing that
Mhm.
you are going to say no to some people as well, just because they're not even in the niche. And then what you're saying, though, is that even if they are in the niche, they still might not be the right person, just because there's something that you feel isn't going to work. And if you feel it's not going to work, then you may not be the best coach for them as well, right? And so they're better off maybe going somewhere.
Right. And you, absolutely. And I tell people that, listen to the feeling. And that's what I coach my people on, is listening to their instincts, because I believe that we were blessed to have an instinct for a reason, but sometimes we're the species that we don't listen to our instinct, and we'll just, I need the money, so I'll go for the sale or whatever. And there's something telling you like, no, this is not right. And then you go for the sale, and that is the most hard-headed client you've ever worked with. They don't show up for their calls. They don't do their homework. They don't do the stuff because you ignored that feeling. And so you do have to be confident to say, even though you kind of feel like I could help them with that, if there's something telling you, no, that's not the person you need to work with, be confident enough to say, yep, no. And it's really good. Like you said, I always recommend, don't just say, no, I can't help you. I always have a wheelhouse of database. I always tell coaches it's good to have at least 5 people that are in your wheelhouse that you can recommend, that if they're not a good fit for you, that's very professional to say, no, I don't think I'd be able to help you out with your problems, but I would love to you to, speak to my colleague, Rania. She's really good at helping you out with that, and connecting those two. So always give them a type of solution if you have to tell them no, if you can do that.
Yeah, I agree, because also
Mhm.
what my experience is, for some people it really took a lot out of them in the first place to even seek help, and to even book that call. For some people that was really, really hard, and so that's why I'm mindful of that. I want to make sure that they continue on that path and not feel like, oh, okay, well, that didn't work, I'm going to give up. I don't, so if I can give them some,
Right.
yeah, that's very helpful. Yes.
And you
Whew.
never know, they might come back around to you after they get help with somebody else, and then they come back to you, and then the energy is right, and you're like, okay, now you might be able to help them out with something else. You just never know.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. I love this, and I know that the people watching have loved it as well. I know it. I feel it, and the
Oh,
people
good.
I do, and the people who aren't watching and who are going to watch the replay, let us know if you have any questions in the comments, and maybe if you tag Mia or me, then maybe we can manage to answer a question here or there later on. Meanwhile, Mia is going to put her links in this comment section, so you can
Hmm.
go to her Facebook, Instagram, follow her. She's amazing. And Mia, next time you have any plans of coming to Egypt, I would love to know, so that hopefully I can see you next time. I see your pictures.
Absolutely. I
I
will
see your
let you know.
pictures all over the social media. I saw the one where you're kissing the Sphinx, and
Oh, yeah.
it's so cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's really nice.
I
Very
will
nice.
definitely let you know. I'll be back out there. Honestly, I'm coming out next year. I've already planned for it. Possibly this year, because I've had so many ladies that have seen the picture. They're like, we want to go, we want to do it. So, and one of the
Oh,
ladies out of, I want to share this with you really quick. One of the ladies that was in my retreat who came, she's a coach as well. She's a psychic medium coach and healer. And she's taking a group out and they're coming back out there in like 3 weeks.
wow.
So
Yay.
yeah, so she just left and now she's bringing 10 people. Or she has a group of 10 that she's bringing out there next week, couple weeks. So yeah.
Okay, so I guess Egypt tourism is going to be spiking because of you guys.
Right. Well, I tell people to go. It's so, and I say now's a good time to go because there wasn't like a lot of tourists and things like that, but it was great. So go.
Very nice. And if I ever come to
Mhm.
Florida, I'll let you know.
Yes, look me up.
Yes, I will. Thank you very much. Have a great day. I guess it's morning where you are. It's night here. Have a wonderful day. Thanks a lot for the value you offered today. Yeah,
Hmm.
Patty's. I don't know, Patty. Maybe you're in California. I'm not sure. But anyway, she's in the States, and she said loved my visits to Egypt because she's been
Oh,
here.
very good. Yes, yes, Patty. It was amazing, girlfriend.
Great. Thanks a lot, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Mia, for your time, and we'll connect again.
Yes, thank you so much, Rania. And I do appreciate it. And I love all of your work and everything that you're doing in your business as well. So
Thank you.
keep
Thank you.
spreading it, sister.
I will. I will. Thanks a lot. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.